We live in the safest, most resource-abundant era in human history, yet our cognitive baseline remains anxious and restless. For hundreds of thousands of years, survival required absolute vigilance. If an early human heard a rustling bush, they could not afford to relax. Our psychological discomfort in a safe environment is the intended output of our biology. This anxiety is a flawlessly functioning survival machine that actively suppresses contentment to keep you alert. To the evolutionary mind, lowering your guard to experience subjective well-being is indistinguishable from extreme vulnerability. Because natural selection prioritized staying alive over feeling good, your brain developed rigid algorithms to ensure you never stay comfortable for long. The foundation of this system is the negativity bias, a biological threat detection program that never turns off. This bias is driven by three specific cognitive mechanics: negativity dominance, automatic vigilance, and hedonic adaptation. Together, they generate a permanent background hum of dissatisfaction. Your mind is a watchtower that deliberately leaves a light on overnight, trading peace for alertness. When fighting your own anxiety, you are resisting millions of years of optimized, life-saving programming. In 2001, psychologists Paul Rosen and Edward Roisman formalized how our brains process reality asymmetrically. They identified a mechanism called negative potency. The brain intrinsically assigns heavier weight to negative stimuli than positive stimuli of equal magnitude. The evolutionary math dictates this weight. If your ancestors missed a reward, like a piece of fruit, the cost was minor. If they missed a threat, like a predator, the cost was total. This leads to the next element: negativity dominance. When the brain evaluates an experience that contains both good and bad components, the summation always skews negative. The whole is perceived as significantly worse than its individual parts. We see the exact same asymmetry in behavioral economics, specifically in prospect theory and the concept of loss aversion. Researchers have documented that humans weigh the pain of financial and personal losses far more heavily than the joy of equivalent gains. This hardware guarantees a pessimistic skew in reality processing. You can have a life that is 95% stable, and your brain will ruthlessly obsess over the 5% that is wrong. This bias also distorts our perception of time through an effect known as the steeper negative gradient. This graph plots affective intensity on the y-axis against the time approaching an event on the x-axis. When we anticipate a positive event, like an upcoming party, the slope is shallow. The excitement builds gradually. But when we anticipate an equally potent negative event, like impending dental surgery, the slope is steep and exponential. Because the negative curve is so much steeper, impending threats will always drown out impending rewards in your daily cognitive load. This biological hardware dictates how we process the future, but it also dictates what captures our immediate focus in the present. This is explained by the automatic vigilance hypothesis, tested in a 1991 modified Stroop task experiment by researchers Prado and John. Subjects were asked to name the font color of personality traits flashing on a screen. When a positive word, like honest, appeared, subjects processed the color and stopped the timer quickly. When a negative word appeared, the timer noticeably lagged. Even though the emotional meaning of the word was irrelevant to identifying its color, subjects were consistently and measurably slower to name the color of negative traits. This supports the mobilization-minimization hypothesis. Negative data is highly complex, forcing the brain to forcefully mobilize extra cognitive resources to process it. Negative information acts as an involuntary attention magnet. It hijacks your focus regardless of whether you want it to. This explains our fixation on threats. But why does getting what we actively want fail to make us permanently happy? This graph illustrates hedonic adaptation. There is a sharp spike in satisfaction upon achieving a goal, which then rapidly decays back down to a baseline of 0. Once you acquire a desired object or status, the brain normalizes it. It erases the joy and immediately points you to the next target. The chemical driver is dopamine. It's a chemical of desire rather than a chemical of reward. It spikes during the chase and drops upon arrival. The brain prioritizes wanting over having. The brain equates arrival with apathy and vulnerability. It strips away your contentment to force you back into a state of productive, survival-driven pursuit. Running place-to-scene threat detection software in a modern, safe environment creates long-term, compounding consequences for your psyche. This brings us to identity rehearsal, the reality that your mind becomes fluent in whatever cognitive state it repeats. Constantly replaying arguments, worries, and negative outcomes physically strengthens those specific neural calculus. Because the mind steers toward what is familiar rather than what is pleasant, it treats high cognitive fluency as a proxy for security. This creates a state where the brain feels safer being slightly unhappy because that state is known and practiced, than it does being at peace, which feels foreign and vulnerable. Prolonged reliance on this survival software weaves dissatisfaction directly into your identity, making true contentment feel like a loss of self. If the brain is built to deny contentment, how is subjective well-being actually achieved? Happiness cannot be a default state. It requires active, conscious friction and continuous rebellion against your own biology. The first tactical override is interrupting hedonic adaptation. You must consciously isolate and acknowledge the things you currently have that you once desperately desired. The second override is explicitly signaling verbal and cognitive safety to your nervous system, manually disarming the watchtower's hum of anxiety. By practicing this, you force a turbulent neural network to stabilize. You provide the sense of arrival that your physiology refuses to give you. The brain has no built-in concept of enough. Contentment is a manual override you must execute every day against a machine built to keep you running.